everyone. Welcome to Deep River. We're going to get started in about maybe 3.5 seconds. We're going to wait for a few people to pop on and join us. If you're new to Deep River is, first of all, the full name of it is Deep River, an exploration of spirituals. And it is a Lenten programming series here at Christ Church Detroit. And due to our circumstances, we are not allowed to be at Christ Church Detroit. However, we're bringing Deep River from home to you, which thankfully technology just allows us to do that. So if you're just tuning in and this is your first week, every week on Thursday evenings, we've had various singers come on and sing selections of both the European repertoire, standard European repertoire, and also spirituals, and then talk about what these songs mean to them and any connecting links or any significances that they find with either of the pieces. So this is our fourth week in Lent, and I'm happy to be hosting live from my home. So my name is Calebria Webb. This is my mom.
Hi, I'm Cassandra Webb.
And we are live from our couch, but it's going to be a good time anyway, okay? So we're going to go ahead and get started. There is the bulletin. I don't think it's linked here, but it's okay. We can read aloud for you. We're going to start this evening off with a reading. This reading is from the excerpt of The Souls of Black Folk, W.E.B. Du Bois. We, the darker ones, come even now, not altogether empty-handed. There are today no truer exponents of the pure human spirit of the Declaration of Independence than the American Negroes. There is no true American music, but the wild, sweet melodies of the Negro slave. The American fairy tales and folklore are Indian and African. And all in all, we black men seem the sole oasis of simple faith and reverence in a dusty desert of dollars and smartness. Powerful words. So as I said earlier, my name is Calebria Webb. I am the Associate for Education and Community Engagement at Christ Church Detroit. And I love Christ Church Detroit so much because I started there now 4 years ago as a staff singer. And not only have they completely expanded what I do on a day-to-day basis, but they also have allowed me to continuously share and grow my love of music with everyone around me. And so it's just a wonderful community. And I would love to take a minute and shout out Reverend Emily Williams-Guffey, who is our rector, and Dr. Ed Maki-Schramm, they're probably watching right now. This is their brainchild, and they allowed me to just host from my living room, which is amazing. So I'm Calebria Webb. I'm a mezzo-soprano. I'm Detroit born and bred. Went to Winston-Salem State University for undergrad, Wayne State for my master's, and so many cool things, I guess. But really, who's really cool is my mom here. She's also a Detroit native. She's from the east side. She's a cast technician. I say that because I'm a Renaissance Phoenix. She's a cast technician, a Wayne State double alum with a master's in occupational therapy. And in her later years, she has really, really found this passion for African American history, which I hope that she'll share just a tidbit of that with us tonight. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So our first song tonight is Guide My Feet, Dr. Roy L. Belfield, followed by the aria De Tu Bell'anima from I Capuletti e Montichi, and that will be from Bellini. So we're going to go ahead and transition and get started. Mm-hmm. All right.
While I
We're back on the other side. So we're going to adjust this. Let's see, and we're going to have a little convo. Make sure I got this set up. We are a 2-woman show with some support in the comments. All right. So now we also want to hear from you. So if you have any comments, feel free to type them up. I'll do my best to moderate them and answer any questions that you may have. But we're going to keep moving with this part of our program, which is the discussion part, which is the fun part, right? And so I get to get a little bit of an interview from Mummy Dearest. So go right ahead.
Okay, so we're going to start with the first question, and that is, what did you hear in the spiritual?
If anybody has any comments, again, feel free to type, what did you hear in the spiritual? What did you hear in the spiritual?
Well, spirituals, in my opinion, was an opportunity for those that were enslaved to express themselves in song when they were not able to verbally express out loud. They had the ability to creatively say that I'm sad. My condition is something that I don't want to be in. But it's also, not only did it express to me sadness, despair, but there's also expressions of hope. There's hope, in my opinion, in the spirituals. There are messages in the spirituals. One thing I would say, those that are enslaved, they didn't want to be enslaved, and so they were hopeful that someday that they would be free. And so, in my opinion, there are two emotions, a sadness and a despair, but also a hopefulness. So what do you think?
And I actually jumped the gun here. I'm going to actually call Ed at this point because he often has some great, amazing things to input. And let's see. Let me see. And he's going to be on speakerphone so you guys can hear. He's probably already watching this. What a good time. Let's see. Oh, here we go. In the spiritual, we heard so much soul and emotion, especially in the hum verse. I heard the words, even though they weren't being sung. And I think that's just a device, a spiritual device that is used. Ed has commented online. Bless his heart. Thank you. That's a wonderful device that is used in spirituals as well, because humming was also communication. So we've talked about this in previous weeks before. He's not answering. It's fine. I didn't know this was a phone a friend show. It is a phone a friend show, slightly. If you missed maybe the last few weeks, we talked about basically spirituals were also a communication method. So it wasn't just the thing of communicating, oh, I'm sad, oh, I'm hopeful. It was also a
hey, what time are we leaving tonight? 7 o'clock? I'll be there. Or, hey, who do we need to bring this time? Okay, so you mean to tell me 3 people out of here can go and then the other 5 are going to go the next time? Amen, great. Here he is. Hi, I didn't want to leave you out.
There you are. It cut off before I could even pick up to answer.
Oh, that's okay. So, yeah, you're on speakerphone now. You might be able to hear yourself, I'm not sure. But
Yeah, I walked away from the computer so I wouldn't hear the delay.
okay. So we read your comment about the hum being the emotion part. You hear the words even through the hum. And a lot of the formulas for spirituals are melodic, and so they communicated a message, and that was the whole point of them in the first place. So they encoded everything in a religious context because that was just what they learned when they came to this new strange place. And a lot of the themes in the Bible correspond with hope, escape, transition, life, love, etc., etc. So those are some of the things that you hear in the spiritual. So what did you hear in the aria? And then I'll tell you why I picked that one as well. Anybody? What did you hear in the aria? Mom?
That was interesting because what language was that in?
Italian.
Italian. Okay, I don't speak Italian, but I was trying to listen to the melody, and in my opinion, spirituals, whether they're singing in English or in Italian, they speak to the soul. So I just felt like whatever that was saying, it was intense, it was sincere,
Emotional?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you familiar with that one?
I would add that it fit your voice.
Thank you. He said it fit my voice. I don't know if you guys can hear from here.
It fit your voice in a way that the spiritual did. And even though I looked up the translation earlier today, I completely forgot what the translation was. So I had to rely on your facial expression and the upward or downward line of the melody to kind of make sense in the same way the beautifully crafted spiritual does, where it's going and what it's trying to convey. And they were similar in that I was able to get a glimpse of what was meant to be conveyed through those characteristics.
Great. Okay, I'm glad I was able to do that. It's different when you're singing to a recording. Days like this, I really miss like collaborative pianists so much.
Well, your living room is an ideal concert hall. It came through beautifully.
Great. I'm glad to hear that. So if no one is familiar with that aria, my operatic friends will be familiar maybe, probably. I Capuletti e Montecchi is just Romeo and Juliet. Oh, wow. Literally, the aria was from the Italian opera of Romeo and Juliet. So I sang the pants role. Romeo is what you would call him in Italian, but Romeo. And in this scene, I think we're all familiar enough with Shakespeare. This scene, he walked in on Juliet, and she's kind of dead, and he doesn't know that she's actually really alive. And so he's debating in the whole recitative in the beginning, which is more conversational, that first 1 minute. He's like, oh, freaking out. What is going on? Let me take this poison. She's already dead. No point in me being here. And so then he drinks the poison, only to later find out that she wasn't dead yet. So, yeah, what do they actually have in common? What's funny about this aria and the spiritual, even though they're worlds away from each other to me, first of all, both of them are not really a lament. The Romeo and Juliet is a lament, but the spiritual is more inspirational, but it can feel like a lament with some of the tonal qualities and tempo or speed. What strikes me as what they are like totally similar about, not even like writing style or singing style, anything, because those are two different places of my voice that I use to sing, but they both are based on an ideal or notion about segregation. So Romeo and Juliet are from two different families, and each family is at war with the other. They just think they think that they're doing so much better than the other, and they're really just the same. And so at the end of the day, their destruction is that they killed their kids because their kids just wanted to be in love. You have the same idea with the spiritual here. How many slaves, you know what I'm saying, were in a relationship maybe with another slave at the plantation next door? And how many of them got killed within that? You know, just trying to get a pass to go see them for the weekend, or, you know, the segregation between people. You're enslaving a whole population of people based on look, and based on race, and based on, you know, ethnicity, where they are actually from, and even language. You're also segregating based on skin color. There's a lot of colorism in slavery as well, because the light-skinned slaves were in the house, and the dark-skinned slaves were in the field. And so it created like division in between the two, even though neither one was really getting treated any better. But, you know, it created this complex, and some slaves like, oh, I'm master's favorite. So it just goes down to that notion of, you know, separatist views that just really don't make any sense. You know, so that's the relationship between the two. It's not so much a musical relationship for me. It's a conceptual relationship. So, let's see. I saw a question. Hi, Marilyn. Will you sing one last piece before this ends? Today, no. We'll see what happens next week. We'll see what happens next week. Let's see. Does one feel more familiar to you? Ed, does one feel more familiar to you?
Well, you and I have worked on that spiritual before. So once I heard that accompaniment track, I thought, oh yeah, we did work on that. I had forgotten it. So it was that was much more familiar to me, and I love "Guide My Feet" even for the congregation to sing.
I agree. I really like that. That's the one I grew up hearing. My grandma might be watching. She's literally next door. Both my grandparents are literally one driveway away. And I grew up hearing that.
It makes me think about the people who taught me that spiritual, because you can't sing "Guide My Feet" without giving it a little head nod, because you know where you've been and you know where you still got to keep on going.
Right. That's right. Mom, did one feel more familiar to you?
Well, the Guide My Feet obviously did, especially during these times of, you know, the COVID-19 pandemic and social distancing. So we still have to run a race. We still have to be hopeful that there will be a cure, that people will be well, and people will be able to return to their lives. And we can use music to inspire us to continue. And that's one thing that I like about the spiritual. It is very inspiring. It's comforting. It speaks of people who were very resourceful. Even though they had their struggles from day to day, they were very resourceful, and they did the best that they could. And so during these times, be encouraged. Listen to spirituals to help you along our journey, and be connected. You know, even though we have social distancing, we can still be connected through music.
Well, we're going to start wrapping it up, but I just wanted to do a really quick, I guess, shout out here in a way. The Guide My Feet is very familiar to me, not just because of, I guess, origins. The arranger, Dr. Roy L. Belfield, actually was one of my instructors / collaborative pianist / mentor / everything positive that you can name while I was a student at Winston-Salem State University in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And you're talking about one of the most giving people to probably ever walk the planet. He's definitely on that list. And he knew so much. He imparted so much wisdom on us as students about spirituals. And there were so many things that he said on a day-to-day basis that were just so impactful. So impactful. And I personally just believe in honoring composers and giving them flowers, you know, while they can still smell them. Because a lot of composers and arrangers are not with us anymore, frankly. And it is such it's even more valuable when an arranger or composer is a person of color, for me, because it allows me to reach back and give back as they gave to me at one point. So it's very personal for me, very, very personal to sing something like that. And overall, from the message and from the music and from who arranged it and, you know, whatever's going on outside my window, it's very personal for me. And so I'm glad to have been able to share that with you all. Some of you all probably have heard me sing that before, but if you've ever wondered why, I always kind of go right back to that one. It's because it is so personal. And so thank you again for allowing me to share that with you. Let's see. Like I said, I think we're at the end of our time. I just want to go back to our bullets in here, make sure I didn't leave anything out. I didn't leave anything out. So at this point, are there any last final few questions that we can answer? If so, type them up. If not, then feel free to ask me at any point, really. It's fine.
Well, and we want to make sure that we thank everyone for tuning in, and that even if they're listening at a later time, that we are sending all our love to everyone in this difficult time, and so grateful that we have this instrument, Facebook Live, to connect with everybody. And I want to just state to everyone how much I'm looking forward to being back with everyone and being back in Christchurch and being with the family of God there.
I couldn't have said that better. I miss you guys a lot. Stay safe, stay healthy. Anthony, would you like to type up a quick benediction for us? Just a few words. I'll give you about 25 seconds. What is happening Sunday? So stay tuned, but stay tuned to your email to find out what's happening Sunday. I just saw that question pop up.
We will go Facebook Live on Sunday. We just have to figure out the technology for multiple locations.
So, right, church didn't stop. The building might be closed, but the body of Christ is open. Okay.
Amen.
All right.
Amen.
So thank you all. Let's see if Anthony is typing something up. I want to give him another few seconds. All right, thank you. Anthony says, God's peace be with you all and those you love. Thank you so much for that. Beautiful, short, and sweet. Thanks for tuning in, and like our page to see more. Check your emails. If you're not on the email communications, let someone know in the comments. We'll try to get you on there. We kind of do cool things like this on the regular, so it'd be great to see you and great to have you there. All right, thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.